Hello everybody and welcome back to the YouTube video. So in today's video, all I'm going to be doing is just kind of in one take walking us through my YouTube analytics. So just a casual video. I find this stuff really interesting and I always like to stare at it and look at all the patterns and see how things are working. And I figured you guys as programmers probably would appreciate this as well. You can kind of get a sneak peek into who's actually watching these videos, how people are finding my stuff, how much money I make, how many views I'm getting per month, just all that interesting stuff that I always like to find out about other YouTubers. So I figured I'd give you, a first person view here right in to the YouTube analytics that I look at pretty much every single day. So that being said, let's get started. So right here, I am on my overview tab. So I'm going to be blurring out the revenue right now. I will show you guys my monthly revenue later in the video, but I want you to stick around. So you're gonna have to wait to see where that will be. But regardless, let's just have a look at this pane. So views, you can see this month, so this was the last 28 days, so between July 17th and August 13th, I had 2.5 million views, 156,000 hours of watch time, and I gained about 35,000 subscribers. YouTube actually added these things so they tell you how you did versus the previous period, so you can kind of get an idea here. I had about 260,000 more views this month than I did last month. Now just kind of walking through this graph here of the views, you can see it fluctuates a fair amount between the days, but it's usually kind of averaging around 90,000 views a day, maybe around 85. But if I go over here to the last 48 hours, you can see I had 176,000 views. So dividing that by 2, we get roughly 90,000. Not quite, but roughly 90,000 views a day. And it's actually interesting, and I'll go into this tab right here. We can have a look at the videos that are getting these views in the past 48 hours. So I actually noticed that almost all of these videos that are getting a ton of views right now, so 10,000 views in the last 48 hours, just 162 in the last 60 minutes. This is from almost a year ago. So October 31st, 2019, August 10th, 2019, that is over a year ago now. And just all these kinds of videos. Now, this is an interesting thing with my channel is unlike kind of the more entertainment type channels or even channels that are just kind of straight advice, since mine posts a lot of content, they can kind of live on YouTube forever. It doesn't really get old. Most of my older videos get viewed a ton. And actually, most of my views every day come from videos that I haven't posted this month, but that have kind of been sitting on YouTube and just growing, throughout the years or throughout the months. So for example, why is Python so slow? Published on October 31st, 2019. Didn't really do that well when it came out. I think maybe it had 100,000 views until a few weeks ago, and then all of a sudden it just kind of started blowing up. So like if I click into this one here, oops, that's not really what I wanted to look at. Can I go back? Okay, there we are. But if I click into the analytics of this one, let's see how many views this has. Okay, so it has 218,000 views. And all of a sudden you can see it just randomly kind of started to pick up. And this happens all the time. I have random videos. I have no idea why they get views, but they just do. And people just like to watch them. So this Flappy Bird AI tutorial, for example, I got 11,000 views on it in the last 48 hours. I think it has like 1.2 million views on it or something. And that was just like I didn't think that was going to get 1.2 million views. That was just a tutorial on Flappy Bird. Yep, a ton of people watched it. And going through, you can kind of see all the other stuff that gets those views. And I'll get out of this pane because that's, enough for that. So next, this is kind of the general overview. You can see my best videos this period. Of course, my coding live streams, didn't mean to click into that, do extremely well. So this has gotten 150,000 views, 140,000 views, 72,000 views, 60,000 views, blah, 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 blah. But note that I don't have any one video that has like 1 million views this month or like 2 million views. And if I have 2.5 million views in total, that means that I actually have a good kind of diversity of content that's all getting viewed. So my channel, at least the way I've tried to run it, is to make it very kind of self-running. I don't want to be one of those channels that has to post a video to get views. I'd like to have this as passive as possible, meaning if I take a month off or I don't post for a few days, I'm still going to relatively have the same amount of views that I did have the previous month. All right, so now let's go into the reach tab. That's kind of enough for this pane right here. And I'll show you kind of how people are actually finding my videos and finding this channel. So you can see there was 32.9 million impressions on my videos this month. What that means essentially is that someone saw the video in their feed. So that's pretty crazy if you think about it, because that's more than the entire country that I live in, which is about 30 million people in Canada. So 32.9 million people saw my thumbnails or actually, saw the video, had that impressed on on them. Click-through rate was 4.3%. You can kind of see that it would have gone up when I had some like better videos posted, and you can see when all the videos are posted here. It shows you which ones. And then views, 2.5 million. We've already looked at that. And unique viewers, 914,000. So that's interesting. That means on average that one person is watching about 2.5 to 3 videos of mine. So that means I'm kind of keeping people on the channel, which is obviously good to see. Looking at kind of traffic and how people actually get here, browse features, that just means like if you're on the YouTube homepage, for example, actually, you know what, let's just hover over it. It will tell us, yeah, traffic from the homepage, the subscription feed, and other browsing features. That's a majority of my traffic. Thank you to all of you guys that, you know, have the notifications on and that actually come to my channel and search for videos to watch. Next, I have YouTube search. So that's people actually going in the search bar and just typing for a video and my video pops up. And then suggested videos, external, playlists, and other. Other could be something like websites and like other random traffic sources. All right, so we have impressions here. So of these impressions, 58.2% of them was YouTube recommending them to people. You can see on the homepage and on the watch page. And then the rest was people actually seeking out my content. So that kind of gives you an idea that I have a very good kind of building block of content that people can actually find to find the channel. And that is generally how I attract new subscribers and viewers, is from people actually just kind of stumbling across me on the internet when they're looking on how to solve a problem. Next, we have traffic sources. So Google search obviously is huge. My website would be next, and then YouTube, which is kind of funny. I guess that means I'm linking to another video, WhatsApp, DuckDuckGo, so on and so forth. The rest of the stuff here isn't too exciting, so I'll kind of skip through it. Although you can see that my #1 YouTube search term is Python projects. Look at my channel. I have many videos on Python projects, and apparently you guys really want to see that because they all get a ton of views. Okay, next, let's go to engagement. This one's not super interesting, but this tells you pretty much how long on average do people watch my videos. Surprisingly, this is only about 4 minutes. So that's actually kind of average for tutorial channels and kind of my niche. You know, if you're going to find a video, you're probably scrubbing through it. Maybe you're not watching the whole thing. And I have a lot of very long videos. So, you know, not really much I can do about that. And then 156,000 hours of watch time just in the past 28 days, which is kind of crazy. That means people have literally watched like years worth of the video. Okay, let's go to audience now. This one I actually find is really interesting. Now let's see what demographic actually watches my channel. So average views per viewer, 2.6. This was unique viewers. Again, remember all of these analytics are the past 28 days. You can kind of have a look at when my viewers are on YouTube. So a good chunk of my viewers, when I go to the thing here, in India, United States, United Kingdom, Germany, and Canada. In fact, if I go into this, you can see that I have people from literally all over the world watching my content, although a majority is from India, US, United Kingdom, Germany, and Canada, which kind of makes sense with this niche and the stuff that I'm posting. Anyways, let's get out of that for 1 sec. You can see that the time that most people are online is about between 7 a.m. and what time is this? About 4 p.m., 5 p.m. So if you notice when I'm posting, I'm usually posting around 11 a.m., which is right here kind of in the peak hours of when most of you guys are online and watching my videos. Next, let's go subscriber bell notifications. Okay, so this is interesting. So subscribers who turned on all notifications for your channel, 13.8%. Thank you to everyone who's done that. If you haven't, you should hit that bell. And subscribers who turned on all notifications for your channel and enabled YouTube notifications, a little bit smaller. So you can see the averages are between 10 and 30%. I'm a little bit higher than the bottom range, so good or bad, I guess. And then same thing here, I'm a bit higher than the bottom range. Guess you guys aren't starving to see new tutorials every single day. But anyways, subscribed and not subscribed. This one is really interesting to me. A good chunk of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. And I think that makes sense because they're probably finding informational tutorial-based videos. Maybe they don't care about the channel itself. They really just, you know, want to watch that one video and get the knowledge from it, and that's totally fine. But if you're not subscribed and you're watching this video, you should definitely consider it because I make videos like this all the time. All right, so 28.1% subscribed, makes sense. And do these numbers add up? I don't think they do. So the rest is like unknown people watching my videos. Now, this is the statistic I always find is really interesting, is age and gender. So you can see that 7.7% females watch my channel. Now, I know that seems stupidly low compared to the males, but it's actually a lot higher than it used to be. When I started this channel, even just a few months ago and last year, this number was at like 4 or 5%. So this is really good to see way more females kind of coming into tech and at least subscribing to the Tech with Tim YouTube channel. And I've kind of talked to some other people in this space, and they have numbers similar to this, but they definitely have been growing over the years, which is always nice to see. And then next we have age and gender. So you can, or what am I saying? Age. So we have 13 to 17-year-olds, 5.2%. That's actually much lower than I thought it would have been, but I guess there's just not that many young programmers. So if you're in this range, leave a comment down below and let me know, because you are only 5.2% of my viewers. 18 to 24, which is kind of my age range. I'm 20. Makes sense. You guys probably can relate with me more than maybe some other people watching. 42.8%. 25 to 34, 31.9%, 35 to 44, 11.9%, 45 to 54, and then we actually have some people in the 55 to 64 and 65 plus range. So obviously, I'm kind of centered in around the 18 to, let's say, 34-year-old range. That's where about 75% of my traffic comes from. But it is nice to see that people of, all age, all gender are watching my videos. And then subtitles, I don't have subtitles on most of my videos, unfortunately. So obviously that's going to be low. And what else can I show? All right, so now we're at the 10-minute mark. I think you guys have waited long enough. I will show you the revenue for this month. So my revenue fluctuates quite drastically on YouTube. I can kind of predict what it's going to be, but on a day-to-day basis, you can see like this day I made $288, made $309, $326, $263. Remember, this is all Canadian dollars. Some days you have random spikes, some days you just do worse. This is slightly based on views, but it's also based on this CPM, which I can't actually show you. I believe I'm not allowed to show you the RPM or the CPM. But you get the point. So that's kind of how much I'm making a month just off YouTube ad revenue. Now, since we're on this tab, and I always like to be transparent with you guys, I'll be honest that this is not actually a significant portion of the revenue I generate from this channel. A lot of revenue comes from affiliate links, from sponsored videos, from other kind of endeavors that I'm doing, from paid courses, from merch sales, from a ton of other stuff. So this is obviously a good chunk, but it's not kind of how the business fully runs, right? Because this is a business. I actually run all of this through a corporation, and I do a lot of kind of stuff behind the scenes that I'm actually planning on talking about in a future video that you guys just wouldn't know about at all. So, just keep that in mind. Now I'll show you the revenue in the last 365 days, and you can kind of get an idea of how it's grown and gotten larger. So if you start all the way back here in August 15th, 2019, so about a year ago, I was only making about $80 a day, which is lower than minimum wage considering the amount of time that I was actually working when I was doing this. And minimum wage in Canada is about $14, $15, something like that. You can see it just kind of steadily started to grow, and obviously that's going to grow with views, but that's kind of the journey I've been on. So that's the last 365 days. If I go to lifetime, you get an idea that this channel's actually been around since 2014. I didn't really seriously start posting on it until 2017, so June 2017. And that was when I was making 20 cents a day, 3 cents a day, 14 cents a day. And then, oh wow, 10 bucks, 14 bucks, 7 bucks, just such little numbers, like not much motivation to keep going. But I grinded for over a year. So when I actually started posting videos, 20 cents, literally a year after that, I was making about $8 a day. And then we go from a year after that, I'm making about $60 a day. And then one more year from that, and I'm making about $300, $275, something around that per day. So you can kind of see the growth there, which I just think is pretty insane. And a lot of people don't realize that I've put a tremendous amount of work into this channel when I was making literally $100 a month, $5 a month, $0 a month. And that, these large numbers you're seeing now, they're paying for that work that I did when I wasn't getting paid at all, if that makes any sense. I'm going to blur out all these other months' revenues. I can't show you guys too much just because of kind of YouTube's rules, but these are the top videos for revenue. I'll blur out how much they've actually made, but I will say that some of these videos alone have made about $3,000 or $4,000 just videos that could have taken me 10 or 15 minutes to film, which is kind of funny. And yeah, that is pretty much all I kind of wanted to go through with you guys. I'll look at now the views over the lifetime, just so you get an idea of kind of how this works. So remember, I didn't really start posting until 2017. Back then, again, I was getting 50 views a day, 70 views a day, 100 views a day, and then slowly started to grow into kind of the few thousands. And then now, of course, as we go up and up and up and up and up, we're hitting about the 100,000 views a day mark, which is just unbelievable and something that, I want to continue growing and hopefully getting larger as we go through. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys. There is a lot more stuff in here, but it would take me like hours to go through like all the statistics and analytics. So I hope this kind of gave you an idea of, how this channel has grown, the journey, kind of some insight into the audience and who watches this channel. And yeah, if you guys appreciate this type of video, definitely do leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I guess I will see you guys again in another one.